everyone, Egman here with another video, and today we've got a kind of cool Towa deck. This is the new starter deck. Leader, we haven't talked about this. Also, this is sent to me, the idea for the deck was sent to me by Callum Dewar, so thank you so much, Callum, for reaching out and letting me do a profile for this. It's a really cool kind of thing, and honestly, I really like this Towa leader. It's kind of like the new Agent of Destruction archetype. I've already Frieza Xeno and everything else, but having a Xeno leader in general is really, really cool. And it's using the new Janemba engine, which I think will obviously be good in the Janemba leader as well. But I think it's kind of cool, the edge case here with kind of the nice stuff you get with this leader and some kind of cute stuff you can do with it. But let's get started with what does this leader do? So treat dark Broly cards at any cost of 9 or less from your hand, and non-black battle cards with Xeno in their names and original energy cost of 9 or less in their hands if they have no specified cost, and reduce their energy by 1. So that just means that our Xeno thing, just costs 1 less, which is kind of nice. And then also when this card attacks, add to 1 card from your life to your hand and draw 1 card. One of the, being able to self-awaken on a leader is fantastic. And then when your life is at 4 or less, you may draw 1 card and then switch to one of your energy active mode, flip it over. And then same permanent on the back side, but when this card attacks, draw 1, and this card gains plus 5k power for the battle. And also auto ones per turn when one of your Dark Broly cards are non-black battle cards with Xeno in its name get removed from your battle area by opponent's skill, draw 1. So just kind of like a nice little draw 1 at the end of the turn for doing that. But just in general, just a cool leader to just facilitate the engine. And it's really cool. So it's using the new Janemba engine, which mostly revolves around your 3-drop Janembas and your skillless ones, and then using the ball to go into your bigger boys and all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of cool synergy you can do with Towa, especially because she's a black leader, so you can use your stuff. So the main engine is you need to get a 3-drop Janemba out, and you can do that with, it's either this Janemba here, which is a big 30k skill list, which is fine, or we also have this new 3-drop Janemba as well. As a crit dual attack at the end of your turn, swing this card to its owner's warp. And active main, if you have 3 more energy and you choose one of your blue skills battle cards, any cost of 2 or 3, and turn it to its owner's hand. Play this card from your hand, and you can't activate this activates main skill on copies of this card for the turn. So just being able to play this 19k dual attack crit for free is really nice. And then you also have our new 5-star Parasitic Darkness. This card is the dark Dragon Ball, but you can always have it as a 5k combo. But also, if you have 2 or more energy and you choose one of your mono blue Janemba at any cost of 3 and place this card underneath it, play up to 1 blue Janemba Xeno card at any cost of 4 from your deck or hand on top of the chosen card in active mode, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So this can go on top of either the vanilla or this 3-drop, which is nice. And then you can go into your Janemba Dark Parasite, so it's just a big 20k crit, which also is in active mode. It says if your opponent has 2 or more energy, which... yeah, it's the same thing on both these guys. But yeah, if you have 2 or more energy, when this card attacks, your opponent may choose one of their battle cards sent to their owner's warp. If they didn't, you draw 1 card and then switch it to one of your blue energy to active mode. So all this means is that either your opponent, you get a +1 either way, and being able to just get rid of one of your opponent's battle cards for free is nice. And if they have if they have no battle cards on the field, or it's something with barrier, you just get the free draw 1 and untap, which is really, really nice. And then you go into the big boy Janemba Rampaging Demon. So this is crit dual attack. It's just EX evolve for 1 blue. When this card evolves into this card, draw 2 cards and switch this card to active mode. So just a lot of value you get from this guy. 2 more swings as crit, so that's 2 crit swings from here, 1 crit swing from here, and then 2 more from this guy. So that's already 5 damage crit just from this nice little chain. And then you also have a attack with this big Janemba. And yeah, it's just you'll see how much swings and how aggressive and how much power you can get with this guy. And there's also just a lot of ways for this deck to kind of bounce back and kind of do its thing consistently. So right now there's 53 cards in this deck just because I don't know what to cut. But I think with more tries and everything, you can really find what you want for it. So some tech cards for it. First, Champa, obviously, with all these crit things going on, being able to do a double strike crit is extremely powerful. Your opponent has to, especially if you put on this Janemba Rampaging Demon, having a 35k crit double strike is very powerful. And if they don't, especially since it's dual attack, it's easier for this thing to swing twice and make them use negates and stuff. So that feels good. And then we also have from the draft box the Chilled Greatest Pirates in the Cosmos. So this is a really cool card. So it has this active main. If you have 3 or more energy and choose one of your skills battle cards in your hand, discard it. You can play this card from your hand. And then for 1 blue, if this card attacks, If this card attacks, deals damage to an opponent, or removes a marker from an opponent's unison card, play up to 1 blue skillless battle card at any cost of 3 or less from your deck or your drop area, then shuffle your deck to look through it. So just being able to kind of use this to be like an additional swing and more attack is good. Your opponent has to, it's really only good if your opponent has like a unison out. So maybe you only want to run 2 of these guys, and you also kind of have to have a skillless card in hand. So this could easily just be taken out if you're not finding it consistently, because you need to find like your Janembas, and both of these aren't searchable right now in the deck. But if you want to add like more of the skill, like the 2-drop skillless one, I think that'd be pretty fine. And just being able to like extend your combo even more is cool. We also have so we have 8 negates in this deck. I'm not sure if that's too many, but a lot of them just gain a lot of additional value. So Power Burst is fantastic because you just get a free +1 for doing, or free +2 for negating attack. You can get like your Son Goku Adventure Begins, and also your Towa back. Both these cards pretty much do the exact same thing. They're just this 1-drop, and then for 2 that gain value, and then for 2 energy you get to do something more value with it. So like for example Towa, this card's played up to 1 Dark Dragon Ball from your deck, or drop it to your hand and shuffle your deck if you look through it. Not only do we have the 5-star ball, but we also have these Dark Dragon Balls, which if your leader card's a Demon Realm Race, look at the top 7 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 Dark Broly card, non-black battle card, Xeno's name, or black units of 16k power among them, to your hand, then shuffle your deck. You can't activate copies of this for the turn, but just if you like need to find one of your combo pieces, this is a really good card to do so. And then also for 2 energy, if your lead card is black and you have 3 or more energy, you can just pitch one of your Dark Dragon Balls, either the 5-star or the just Dark Dragon Balls, and place them in your drop here. Play up to 1 Dark Broly or an non-black battle card, Xeno's name, and in any cost 4 less from your deck or hand, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So just being able to do it for free. Your opponent has to be at 3 energy, but being able to set this up on your turn just to play like yours Janemba for free anyways, and then you can just go into and swing from there is nice. Kind of a similar thing with the Son Goku The Adventure Begins. So except for you always get a 4-star ball, you can keep cycling it, and then activate once per turn for 2. If your leader card's is black, choose up to 1 skills battle card, and costs 3 or less from your deck or drop it, or play it, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So turn 1 you play Goku, you are able to get your a 4-star ball for free. Turn 2 you get another 4-star ball for free, and then you're able to use it to find this Janemba for free. And then your next turn, assumingly this will survive, you're able to swing at this a second time, then use, go into your Janemba combo and really, really go off. So I think like that's a really solid game plan in general. And the reason that this deck is so good and why we use Towa instead of Janemba is just because Son Goku The Adventure Begins needs a black leader card, and Towa fits that criteria for that. So I think that just works really well and has like a lot of synergy there. We're also running Max Power Kamehameha just because it's a black negate, and you're able to like pop things on your opponent's side of the field. I'm not sure if this is needed in this deck, but it's not like a terrible card in a lot of sense. We're also running 2 of the Janemba, the Shadow Warrior. So this is actually just a one blue energy negate, but which is fine, and you get to play this this 15k with it. So maybe we just need more of this guy. We don't need Max Power Kamehameha in the main, and it's also nice because it's searchable with Dark Dragon Balls as well. We don't have a bunch of targets with this deck. We just have 9 cards that this guy can search out from the top 7. So maybe adding more of these can be kind of good and maybe get out of your Kamehamehas. But I think it's a good card overall still, and it works kind of nice. So if you if you negate a leader card's attack with a skill, your opponent can attack with leader cards for the turn. So this can Green Gohan obviously is like a really big target for this guy, and just stuff like that like Zamasu set 10 leader if that's still around, but I think both those are like valid target. I think this is a cool card in general, but it's also Janemba Xeno, so you can always play it, and has all those like Xeno things. You can just play it for 1 energy and have a 15k, which is still just fine late game. So we have that, and then I think after that we have Beans, because why would we not run Beans, and then also Super Saiyan Son Goku the Time Patrol Elite, which is also just that we don't really have any like cool things we can do with super combos, so I think this is just the best one. So this is like the main core of the deck. You're just really aggressive, getting a lot of crit swings and being really aggressive with that. I think it works out pretty well, and it can be really consistent too, because you get a lot of card draw in the last cycle with these cards too, especially like Son Goku. This being able to do this turn 1 if it sticks, being able to play the Janemba turn 2, that's a lot of value for you. And then some additional cards to think about real quick. So we've got this Dark Shenron Unison. I think this guy's actually pretty good. So +1 if you may choose one of your Dark Brawlers, energy cost of 9 or less or your non-black battle cards with Xeno as character name, an original cost of 9 or less in your hand or drop area, and place it at the bottom of your deck. If you place a card from your hand to the bottom of your deck, you draw 1. So it's either just putting cards back into your deck to use, for the balls, or like if you did draw, like it's just really good for your Xeno cards, putting them back in the deck so you can play them from your deck and getting free cycle. And then for -3, if your leader card is a Towa card and you have 4 more energy at the start of your main phase, choose up to 3 non-black battle cards, any cost of 3 or less, and Xeno in their names, and or Dark Broly cards from your deck or hand, play them, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So the fact that it's an auto, what this means is that if this, at the start of your turn, you can activate this effect if you have 3 or more tokens on it. So you can't just like add tokens to it then do an active main. You have to, it's weird. It's weird timing and like weird for it, but you get to choose up to 3 non-black battle cards, any cost 3 or less, in their names, and from your deck or hand, and play them, shuffle your deck. So since Towa reduces everything in your hand by 1, it's all your 4 drops or less in your hand. So just like this Dark Parasite and everything, and you can also choose if you're putting more like of the Dark Broly stuff in it too. That could also be nice. I think like there might be some room to do some like dual chains with it, but it'd be kind of tight from my perspective. Maybe you could put in like the green Boo. I don't think it's in this deck builder yet, but the 4-drop green Boo from the set, that's if you play it, you're able to look at the top 7 cards from your deck and play a Xeno from there. I think that can have some potential as well. What else do we have here? So I also looked at Sake Demon. So this is like a really old card, but when you play this with the top 7 cards from your Janemba, add to your hand, then shuffle. We have 8 Janembas in this deck because these were Xeno Janembas. So it's not like too terrible to find that. And then also, if you want to go into the Childish Heart, like being able to just evolve into this turn 2, it is a 3-drop Janemba with barrier, so you can swing with this and then just go off turn 2, doing 5-star ball into Janemba, into other Janemba. So that's if you want to do it more aggressively and potentially more consistently. Since this can also find the 3-drop as well, there could be some, I think, thoughts of putting this Sake Demon in the deck in general. And then we also have Whis Coercion, because the Whis Coercion is a good card. We have the 2-drop Vanilla Janemba. I think if you want to go chilled, you probably want to put more of the vanillas in it, so I think this could be a good idea for that. And we also just have some Dark Broly's because they're kind of nice. So this is just a 2-drop. It's red, technically, but if your leader card is black and your opponent has 3 or more energy with an active main for 1, add up to 1 card from your life, play up to 1 Dark Broly, and cost 6 or 7 from your deck on top of this card in active mode, then shuffle your deck. You can't play Dark Broly cards for the turn. So this is just a 1-drop 15k, which is already good for this deck, and then being able to just say active main, go into your 6 or 7 drops, is nice. So you can play any of the 6 drops that came with last set, and also the 7-drop. It's also have an EX Evolve for 2 on a Dark Broly in case you don't want to do the 1-drop. I guess you can do it turn 2 immediately without having to take play it from your deck. Oh, it's from your deck in general. So this is like cheaper. So if it's from your hand, you have to pay the 2. Okay, gotcha. And then this card is also treated as black in all areas. And then if your opponent's life is at 3 or more, and there's a card... So is this technically red energy and black energy? Interesting. Okay, sorry, I didn't really think about that. So I guess if you wanted to put it like in a... I don't know how you could abuse that. You could abuse this probably. The fact that it's technically dual areas. But if your opponent's life is at 3 or more and there is a card underneath this card, when this card is played, switch it to active mode, then your opponent may choose 1 battle card from their hand, battle area, and a drop area and send it to their warp. They send 2 or fewer cards to the warp. Choose up to 1 card in your opponent's life, place it in the drop area, and you can't play copies of this card for the turn. So that's like kind of nice. It's weird, conditional sniping, but it can be really impressive. Just getting rid of like 2 cards from your opponent. 3 cards from your opponent, especially if they don't have, if they have no battle cards, like you automatically snipe one in their life, which is really nice. So it's just cool. It could just be like a cool like end game condition for the deck. You have to do the EX Evolve kind of stuff, but I think there's some warrant to have this like be like a big boss monster for it. But I think that's going to be it for this deck. I think it's really unique, and once again, shoutouts to Callum for reaching out with this deck for me. I think, obviously Janemba, the new Janemba package is very strong and impressive. There's just a bunch of crit swings if you, are able to get the Janemba to stick, and especially with the Janemba leader being able to free play your 2-drop Janembas. But I think this also has a lot of potential in its own right. It's more of a mid-range version, and If you lose one of your Janembas, you can definitely just gain value back, and I think that's like is just a bunch of value for this deck in general. So that's gonna be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this deck, and I'll catch you all next time.